Welcome back to the Batlow Planocordon demonstration site, part of the Narrow Orchard Systems project. This is just a little extra video this spring or early summer to show you a bit of an issue we've had to deal with borse development at the growing tips on some of our verticals in the Planocordon trees, and what we've done to try and address that and get the verticals back to a single upright and keep the growth going in here, which we really need to do. So in the next 5 minutes or so, we'll step you through what we've done with borse removal and new leader selection. As I've come along to these verticals on the Planocordon, just singling things out again at the tips, making sure that we're selecting something that's growing strongly. Something has cropped up that I wasn't expecting on quite a few of these verticals, and spoke to Jeremy and we made a bit of a decision. I just want to show you what that involved. So here I've got an example, and I'm going to have to pluck some leaves to make it easier to see what's going on here. But it looks like at the start of this growing season, we've almost got like a borse or burst bud developed at the top of the growing point, and so we're getting this divided top forming, and we need to get that back to a single. So the decision that we have come to, Jeremy and I have arrived at, is to, if I can come around this side, take a few more leaves out here. You can see there's two shoots coming off that burst bud. Really hard to, yeah. So two shoots coming off that burst bud there, that one there and this one. And then below that there's a stronger looking shoot that looks like it wants to grow. So we're actually, what I've been doing on the first two rows is coming through and cutting this burst bud off, taking those two shoots out, and then positioning this as the new leader. So, I mean, there's not a huge difference in those shoots, but these are coming from a point of constriction, if you like, in that burst bud, whereas this one's coming straight off the main stem. And our feeling is that this is going to become a stronger upright, and given that we've still got a little ways to go to fill the canopy height that we're looking for here, we want these to keep growing. So we're going to take these two out and leave that one. There's that terminal bud, if you like, that we've cut out with those two shoots, and that's where it came from. And that's our remaining shoot, which I'll now tether to the bamboo with a bit of tapener tape, and I'll come back and show you what that looks like done. So there's our replacement leader now selected, and hopefully that's going to continue on with a bit of vigour to get some more height before the end of the season. And we've got a few more of those to deal with. There's another one on the next tree. It's probably more a case of thinning out those laterals that are coming from below the main leader, because that main leader looks pretty strong. Here's another one with the burst bud effect. You can see it's got that stumpy little shoot on top coming from that tip, and then the two stronger shoots either side. So I'll probably select this one as a replacement and get rid of that lot, so that'll then move into that position. Another little task as I'm going along, singling out these leaders again and choosing a strong growing point, is to do something with these laterals that we keep so that they don't get too long. At the moment we're in November, they've still got strong growing tips, and they're already, you know, more or less filling the space that they're required to in the future. So just sort of bringing these back slightly, and I was doing some with the secateurs and then had a chat with Jeremy, and a technique that he's using elsewhere in the orchard is basically just a ripping technique, so that you're left with a much shorter, probably 2-3 finger, what could become spur in the future remaining. And just, you know, the aim being to take the vigour out of those and keep directing the growth into whichever of these shoots we choose to be the remaining leader on this one. So it's 1 month on from our November update, November 2025, and I just want to show everybody the growth response we've had where we removed those borse at the top of the growing tips of the verticals and selected a new leader. And here's a really good section. We've got about 40 to 50 centimeters of new growth in the last month. Yeah, it's really starting to fill out that area out on the ends of the cordons, which was typically where you get it's a bit more challenging to get growth. You can see closer to the trunk, our first two verticals are very strong in most trees, and that's typical. That's what people see in these systems. But I'm pleased to see that work we did a month ago to keep these singled and growing straight up is paying off, and they're looking like they're going to catch up eventually, which is what we want. And they're certainly making good pace to that next wire now. So things looking pretty good since that detailed work in November. Thanks again for joining us, everybody, in the Batlow Plantar Cordon demo block. I'll be back with an update in the new year when these have made a bit more growth, and we've got some decisions or a plan to move ahead with the side laterals on our verticals. So I look forward to catching you on the next video. Bye for now.